What's going on, Breaking Brown family? You know, I I did not intend um, on being back today, but I felt as if that, honestly, I felt as if I had a responsibility to be back today, but also I was so bothered. Like, part of me even didn't want to come because what I saw today, I found so, it's not funny. Like people are talking about this, and people are joking about this, and oh, Kanye cooned out. It's worse. It's worse than you think. Like, in terms of what this means for us, in terms of what this means for us, and what this says for us. I see certain things when I see it. It's like a flashpoint. So, but what I want to do, I know some of you may not. You may not have seen it. If you saw it and you don't want to see it again, I totally understand. So I'm giving you a heads up to kind of mute your mic or do whatever you need to do. But I'm gonna play a few minutes. Hopefully the volume comes in good of some of the stuff that he said, so that everybody has a context of why this is, so bothersome. Normally I have all these issues. I don't want to copyright. I don't care. Like, you have to see this. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to come back and then talk about it. So here we go.
There's infinite amounts of universe, and there's alternate universe. So it's very important for me to get Hoover out, because in an alternate universe, I am him. And I have to go and get him free, because he was doing positive inside of Chicago, just like how I'm moving back to Chicago. And it's not just about, getting on stage and being an entertainer and having a monolithic voice that's forced to be a specific party. People expect that if you're black, you have to be Democrat. I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrat. They say, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs, and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then we got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac. It's the bravery that helps you beat this game called life. They tried to scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. My dad and my mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home. And also, I'm married to a family that, you know, not a lot of male energy going on. It's beautiful though, but there's times where, you know, it's something about, you know, I love Hillary, I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I'm with her, just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. It was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman, that's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Ralph Lauren, looks up to American industry guys. Non-political, no bullshit, put the beep on it, however you want to do it, 5 seconds delay, and just goes in and gets it done. When I went in 2015, we were a $14 billion company, losing $2 billion a year. Now we have a $38 billion market cap. It's called the Yeezy effect. And I went to Casper. We had a meeting in Chicago. And I said, you have to bring manufacturing onshore, not even shore, into the core. It's not about the borders, the core of Adidas. And Chicago is the core of Middle America. We have to make Middle America strong. So I had the balls, because I had enough balls to put on this hat. I mean, this Adidas thing made me a billionaire. And I could have lost $200 million walking away from that deal. But even with that, I knew it was more important for me to take the chance of walking away from that deal than to have no fathers in Chicago with no homes. And when we do have prison reprobation, because it's habilitation, not rehabilitation, because we didn't have the abilities in the first place. We never had anyone that taught us, who didn't teach us. Exactly, we had no one that taught us, right? So it's more important than any specific deal, anything, that we bring jobs into America and that we provide a transition with mental health and the American education curriculum that Jim has worked on. Larry Hoover also has a curriculum that he's worked on. We have Montessori curriculums that we worked on. WeWorks has a beautiful curriculum. The Waldorf establishment has a curriculum. We have meditation. There's a lot of things affecting our mental health that makes us do crazy things, that puts us back into that trap door called the 13th Amendment. I did say abolish with the hat on, because why would you keep something around that's a trap door? I had a 75 percentile of all human beings, but it was counting 8 numbers backwards off the repeat, so I'm going to work on that one. The other one's 98%, Tesla, Freud. You know, so he said that I actually wasn't bipolar. I had sleep deprivation, which could cause dementia 10 to 20 years from now, where I wouldn't even remember my son's name. So all this power that I got, and I'm taking my son to the Sox game and all that, I wouldn't be able to remember his name from a misdiagnosis. And what we need is, we can empower the pharmaceuticals and make more money. That's one thing. I've never stepped into a situation where I didn't make people more money. So we can empower pharmaceuticals, we can empower our industry. So, and that's a move, one of the moves that I love that liberals try to do. The liberal would try to control a black person through the concept of racism, because they know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when I said I like Trump to like someone that's liberal, they'll say, oh, but he's racist. You think racism can control me? Oh, that don't stop me. That's an invisible wall. So, tension. Like, we also, as black people, we have to take a responsibility for what we're doing.
President Trump has said that he favors stop and frisk. Are you guys going to be discussing that? Do you think you can change?
Yeah, we're gonna discuss. I didn't mean to put you on blast like that, bro. But it's definitely.
I'm open-minded. I'm here.
Yeah.
I am open-minded.
to speak at one of your rallies.
He can speak for me anytime he wants. He's been a great guy. He's a smart cookie. Smart. He gets it.
And Trump is on his hero's journey right now, and he might not have expected to have a crazy motherfucker like Kanye West run up and support. But best believe, we are going to make America great.
I want to tell you, it's great to have you guys with us. And we're going to go in, we're going to have some lunch. That was quite something. That was quite
It
something.
was from the soul. That's
Yeah,
the
no,
challenge.
it's really very interesting. Yes, yeah, please. Honestly, from our standpoint, This was just set up to be a lunch of two people that I like.
Okay. Listen, Breaking Brown family. And I was paying attention to the chat when some of you said this is difficult to watch. It is. But one of the things that you have to pay attention to when you watch is why Kanye is there. Kanye is there as a jester, kind of clownish figure, and he's there for himself. Like, it's very interesting. Just yesterday, I said that we had given Kanye too many chances. We had given Kanye too many chances, and there's a reason why you cut people off. There's a reason why you say, no, this is it. I'm not messing with you, and I'm not messing with nobody that works with you. You deserve to die in a one-bedroom apartment on the south side of Chicago. That's what you're worth. You have to do that, because if you don't do that, this person ends up in the White House embarrassing himself. And what did Alexander say when he called in that time? We either rise together or we fall together. We all would love to be individuals and say, well, I like goldfish, and I like robots, and I like math. Well, I like literature. That's fine. But the tie that binds is the tie that goes from slavery through Jim Crow to Reconstruction to here. And we impact one another. And if you don't get these people out early, if you don't carve them out, listen, there has to be a thinning of the herd. There is no strong herd without a thinning of the herd. You see it in the wild. You can't be here. You're weak. You're too weak, and you're going to get us in trouble. And you're too wrong. I don't think we understand what we just saw. This is not just, don't tell me that he's sick or he's just sick. I don't care if he's sick. He got to go away anyway. I don't care. It don't matter to me. If you were having some type of breakdown, but I don't think that's what Kanye is, because Kanye told you what he wanted. Kanye told you why he was there kissing the ring. He told you we need tax cuts because I'm trying to bring an Adidas plan or whatever he's talking about. He told you what he's doing, but he's not just smart. He's not smart enough to really articulate it. I don't think we really understand when we talk about black celebrity. I don't think we really understand. You know, Antonio Moore has said before, these are high school educated people or whatever. I know, and let's not talk about the aberrations that we've known who, you know, I have a friend who never graduated high school and reads a bunch of books. That ain't him. I think Kanye West probably reads at a 5th grade level. He talks at a maybe 2nd grade level. He is I have not seen this level of stupidity. And I don't think we want to call it what it is. When we see like a really stupid person, we want to be like, well, no, they obviously just have a problem. No, obviously they just don't know anything. And he can't even articulate his thoughts. He sounds like a... No. Wait. I'm not going to say he sounds like. He is a man-child. You had this fully grown, physically black man in the White House as a man-child hopping around. I mean, the only thing that would have made this thing worse is if Trump... You remember we did the Cosby Show episode where Cliff had Petey on his knee and he was bouncing little white Petey around? The only thing that would have made this worse is if Trump had put Kanye on his knee and started bouncing him around. You're a child and you're in the White House and you're using curse words, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot. So let's go through some of the stuff. This hat gives me power. How does this hat give you power, Kanye? What world do you live in? There are alternate universes, and I'm doing some different things, different universes. Okay, Kanye, okay. I never had male energy. Okay, Kanye, are you saying Trump is your daddy? Like Trump is your male energy and it made you feel powerful? Because that's not what politics is about. But you don't know that because you're a moron. And nobody ever told you to your face, listen, I enjoy the beats and I'm going to work with you. But if you ever say that, what you just said to me, if you ever say that stupid stuff again, I'm going to flatten you on the... Nobody ever said that to Kanye. He's like Ben Carson. There are people who can do things in different sectors. They're like idiot savants. You ever seen that? I saw a video of a guy one time who could draw a whole city. He was an idiot savant or something. He could draw a whole city from the top of a helicopter, but he couldn't hardly talk. And that's fine. He's disabled. I understand he's disabled. How many of you understand that this man is whatever he is, but he's not a thinking person? I don't know what Kanye is. I just know he can't think. I just know Kanye has 2 brain cells and they're both fighting. That's what I know about him. Let's go through some of the other stuff he said. Male energy. No bull crap. He's cursed. That's the first time he cursed before he said the second curse word in the White House. Trump made him feel like Superman. That's my favorite character. He used we when talking about Adidas, called himself a billionaire. Wait a minute, you just did the interview with Charlemagne where you said you have to stay on tour because you don't have no money. Okay. He said something, I don't think it was in this clip, that it's not, and when people go to prison, it's not rehabilitation, it's habilitation. Okay. And you have to understand something. You have to understand one thing. Someone said Kanye knows enough to know liberals are a ripoff. Well, I'm going to tell you, conservatives haven't really done. No, he doesn't know. He does not know enough. And conservatives haven't been our friends either. We have no friends. That's what makes our position in this country so precarious. There's a word, precarious. Kanye, do you have any words you can use, or are you just going to babble? This is not, you have to stop. You have to stop. Listen, everybody got to stop playing. All this little game we play, well, he got a point, well, he got a point, well, you got a point. No, that is over. If we want to go and survive into the next century, that little stuff that you play, this little game, and he gets to go and say what he say and do what he do because he's Kanye or because this person is that person, that has to end. He did not make a point. Okay, so, he made a point about liberals. Kanye said 100 different things. He said stuff about welfare that was untrue. Nobody's getting on. Do you even know how Bill Clinton gutted welfare? Nobody's getting on welfare to get a bunch of checks. Not even a bunch of checks, not a bunch of food stamps. People don't exist on that anymore. Do you know about the block grants? If you all want to really understand what happened to welfare, go and read Bill Clinton's The Worst Thing Bill Clinton Ever Done. It was at the Atlantic. The worst thing Bill Clinton ever did. And go read that. And then come back and tell me about how now, in this era, people are just getting on welfare. Because that's just something that Candace Owens told you, and you repeated it verbatim. You parroted something. So knowing that liberals or whatever is not knowing something, you're just parroting something that somebody else told you. That makes you kind of a moron. You didn't do your own work, and you're there kissing the ring to get something from Trump. You're there begging. You are a court jester. You are a clown. He talks about meditation. He talks about the 13th Amendment being some kind of trap door. Now I want you, if you really want to get a sense, like look at this picture of Trump. I just want you, let's just look at it. He's getting a kick out of it because he's laughing at this guy, and this is going to be fodder. Everybody's going to have a conversation about it later on. About, did you see what he's crazy? They're going to say Kanye is crazy as cat shit. After he leaves and he's a moron, they're going to have to talk like he doesn't really believe he's a smart cookie. That's what you say to your dog. You're a smart little cookie. You're a smart little cookie. You cookie do you want a treat? This incoherent. Only thing you saw from Kanye today was a bunch of incoherent babbling. Listen, I said yesterday, and that T.I. should have cut Kanye off, and he put up a post, earlier that he finally did. But we have to start doing that earlier. Kanye is finished. He should be finished. And anybody who works with him should be finished. Anybody who deals with him should be finished. in our view, in terms of how we view you. Okay, you want to go get a Kanye. You want to go get a Kanye beat. You're finished. We're not listening to it. I don't care how good it is. I don't care what it is. We're not listening to it. We're not doing it. What else did he say? I just want to go through. Let me just go through a few of the things that he said before. And I'm going to go to the cause for a little while. But there's some stuff that we have to address. The universe works. We don't have 13 floors. If you read the amendment, if you read the amendment, because blacks weren't allowed to read, if you read the amendment, you got, what did he say? Turned into a slave. These are the words of a moron. These are the words of somebody who got too many chances from our community. This is what happens when you elevate celebrity. When Antonio Moore talked about the decadent veil, this is a vacuous group. If you want a solution, I need you to unsubscribe from the Shade Room and all those little celebrity blogs. While you're at it, unsubscribe from the little sports channels or whatever. There's no such thing as celebrity news, and there's no such thing as sports news. If you want to watch a baseball game, whatever, you watch it. I think you should be doing something else, but if you want to watch it, you watch it. But there's no such, we have to stop following these vacuous celebrities. Kanye West knows nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't tell me he knows anything from what I just saw. He knows nothing about anything. And he's gotten far too much in this life. He's gotten far more than he deserved for a man who can't read music or really play a bunch of instruments. He's not really a musician on that level. To be getting what he got and sitting in front of the president babbling, sounding like a little child. He reminded me of my nephew when my nephew was like 6. You know what I'm going to do, Yvette? I'm going to be a newscaster. And then, I can fly. And I always believed that I could. And, but Spider-Man jumps. And, he's a child. This man is a child in a grown man's body. And I'm not talking, before anybody says anything, I'm not talking about black respectability. Please understand the difference between black respectability and self-respect. And how we should have checked Kanye and excluded him from the group a long time ago. He should have been gone. But we kept giving him chances. There's a consequence to that. Talking about he's 98% in the IQ, empower pharmaceuticals, bring jobs, Jim Brown. The president has to be the freshest. I don't think liberals understand. That's what he said. That the president got to be the freshest. It was such an embarrassment. And it was such a flashpoint that we have embraced black celebrity to the point to where he got to needle his way in to the White House and make a spectacle of himself. And your boss is going to see that video. Everybody's going to see that video. And that video has consequences. And, he went on to talk about us having a victim mentality. Just parroting these right-wing talking points. This isn't it. Like if Kanye West felt this way, we would have heard about it a long time ago. He never felt this way. He just doesn't think. He's not a thinker. So it's easy to just bring him some information and just be like, listen, this is what it is. I'm sure if I brought him some information, he would have just went with that. Because he's a stupid person. And nobody wants to own that. And that's what you get when you elevate these celebrities, these black celebrities to this place. You get led by stupid people. I would never have had Jay-Z or nobody at any kind of inauguration. I'm not elevating you. You get to go do whatever it is you do. I would prefer that it not even, I don't even want to deal with hip-hop. But I would prefer that you just go, you need to go do what you do. You don't need to ever talk unless you're on a stage. It's not necessary for what? What are you going to do? What do you know? You're just a babbling little man-child. And you put us back. Because then you start talking about black on black crime as if all crime is not committed by people in the same community who know each other. Who are usually white people usually kill white people and black people usually kill black people. You usually harm and those people you know, and you don't know anything about the dysfunction and how poor people around the world, no matter who they are always violent. When the white ethnics came here, they were cutting each other with switchblades in the streets. Before they were catapulted into the middle class by the New Deal, they were very violent. As a matter of fact, a lot of them were violent to DOS, to American DOS, but you wouldn't know that, Kanye, because you don't read. You just listen to what Candace Owens and conservatives have to tell you. You don't do any due diligence. You don't do any work. And so now we all have to listen to you. And black people, this is our fault. This is our fault. Family, this is our fault. We have elevated this man and we have listened to this man and listened to his madness and his stupidness and his moronic rants, and we have never just turned away. And we have never said, I'm not buying anything else you have to sell. I am not going to buy anything with anybody else who has anything to do with you. I am finished. I am throwing you in the trash. We have never done that. And we have to do that. And let me just say one other thing. You know, I am very much in favor, and I have said this many times, that I am very much in favor of finding a new path forward. I'm in favor of that. I think that, you know, with the liberals and the conservatives, the problem is that it's time to pivot. The problem isn't that Democrats have never done anything for us. Stop telling that lie. The problem is that we have to pivot. The problem that we've had is with Southern Democrats, because the truth of the matter is, and here's a good historian for you to follow on Twitter. But every major civil rights law of the 1960s, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, was introduced by Democrats in Congress, passed by a Democratic House and Senate, and signed into law by a Democratic president. The truth is just the truth. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, proposed by JFK, passed by a Democratic-led House and a Democratic-led Senate. Now here's the second part. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, advanced by LBJ and passed by the Democratic-led House. Right? And there's a video of LBJ calling for the bill, so on and so forth. The Fair Housing Act of 1968, advanced by LBJ. Yeah, like they said. But here's the thing. And I'm not putting this up, fam. I'm not putting this up to be in support of Democrats doing anything like that. I'm putting this up to show that the Black America DOS support of Democrats isn't because we're stupid. It's because it's because they did something. It was led. You talk about JFK. You talk about LBJ strong-arming this bill after JFK was assassinated, making it happen. That's why we're Democrats. Now, I believe that we need to now pivot because we haven't gotten what we should have gotten in proportion to our vote. And we need transformative politics. It is absolutely time to pivot. But you don't get to call us stupid for being Democrats. We're Democrats for a reason. And Republicans have demonstrated such racism and such hostility towards us that we have felt like we are trapped. And we have to find a third way forward. But you have to understand the history of this country to understand why we're there. And people got to stop talking about us like we're stupid and we just vote Democrat because we're morons. There's a history that lines up with that vote. Now, we got to go a third way. We got to go another way. We got to figure something else out because we're still on the bottom of this hierarchy. And voting, all the stuff that was passed is being gutted anyway. But that doesn't mean we didn't have a sound reason. Like I said, the Southern Democrats, they were Dixiecrats, they were Ku Klux, but it was still led by Democrats. And don't tell me like, well, Republicans came along. I get that, but this was still a Democratic-led and this signed by a Democratic president. That's how we got here. And it's not cool to walk around and sort of play this game of Black America stupid because we're Democrats. No, we're scared of Republicans. That's what's happening. because our values don't line up. And then on the other side, Democrats now just talk. So we're faced with two different things. We're faced with kind of a poison pill. Are we going to die slow or fast? That's not much of a choice. So, yeah, Kanye talks about tax breaks. So yeah, but this what I really want to drive home, fam, and I'm not going to take up the whole time. I'll take calls in a minute. I'm not going to take up the whole time for the show tonight because I want to drive home that this is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is not something to be laughed at. This is not something to be joked about. This is a problem. And this is what happens when you don't thin your herd. Kanye should have been thinned out a long time ago. Well, Yvette, what if something's wrong with him? What if he got problem? I don't care. That's not his problem. Is not my problem. He's made enough money from his records or whatever. He lives in Calabasas. You figure that out. But you're gone. It's over for you. In terms of what we're gonna buy from you. If you want to go make all your money from the people who who support the tax cuts, we can't even talk about. Somebody put on my post early on Facebook that the farm bill is about to be voted on this month or something. We can't even talk about that. We can't even talk about tax cuts that happened during Kavanaugh because you hopping around in the White House just being an idiot. And the worst kind of idiot is a person who doesn't know that they're an idiot. And during that T.I. interview, he said something else. He said everybody's story needs to be heard. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Everybody don't matter the same. Everybody's story don't need to be heard. Kanye, we don't need to hear Kanye. For what? What have you done to deserve a seat in the White House for you to walk up there? What have you ever achieved? What political thought have you ever shared with us that makes you feel that you should go to the White House? You're just there to kiss the ring. You're just there to get some tax cuts. You're there to make some money. You're not there for us. You're not a part of the collective. And this is a violation. You remember last night we had rules. That's a violation. You're not in favor of the collective. You're there for the individualistic. That's a violation. There are a lot of everything that we talked about last night, Kanye West violated. That's why you got to have community rules. That's how you know this man is in violation of what we stand for as a community. He's got to go, and you can't feel bad about it. We're not in a position, people, where we can just go around giving everybody second chance. You don't get a second chance. It's almost like the best example I could use is you and a group of people are walking on a tightrope. We're a group. We're walking on this tightrope. We need to be in step. I can't be walking 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you back there bouncing. You moron. I'm going to push you off. I got to push you off. Because if I don't push you off, we all fall. We should have pushed Kanye off a long time ago. This is real ignorance. No school, no books. This man can't even string a sentence together. It was just babbling. You're at the White House babbling. This is worse than just being a right winger. This is worse than if, like, they had invited a conservative and the conservative said, "Yeah, I agree with Trump," and Jim Brown sitting next to him with his crazy self. Yeah, Trump. Yeah, it's good. Ain't it good, Jim? Yeah, it's good. How many biscuits do you need buttered that you doing all that and that you agreed to this nonsense? Like, he needs to be finished. He needs to be finished. And one of the things I'll say, and we need to really understand before I go to the calls, is that this is not an anomaly. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but I was watching an interview with a black celebrity the other day. And what struck me is this person too couldn't make a full sentence. They couldn't complete a thought. And it was like, yeah, this is how I do it. This is how I react with people when I go with people and they my people. But sometimes in Hollywood, there be different people. And sometimes, like when I be at the house, sometimes I don't even be trying to want a bigger house. And then, but other people do. But that's why they get caught up. But I was at the fish fry and I had fun with my mama. And what the hell, man? And it's one of those conversations where you just can't. You ever been listening to a conversation just kind of over there and you start easing towards the thing like, what, child, what you just get closer and closer because you realize you must be missing something. And you get real close. You're trying to figure out what the hell going on. It's like that. Like you can't complete a sentence because you can't complete a thought. You just jump from like idea to idea to idea, and you don't realize how many gaps there are in your thinking and your learning. That person can't help you. That person can't speak for you. It would be better if that person just not talk. Do whatever if you are an actor or a comic or whatever, do that. Don't talk. Don't be on Instagram. We don't need to hear nothing you really gotta say. Just go do what you do and don't talk to us after that. There's nothing that we need to say. There's nothing that needs to be said. You just gotta do it. You just, and before I go to the calls, let me just say, like I said, this is an embarrassment. But the second thing I want to say is this. And this is very important. In terms of the Breaking Brown Project, what we are doing and what I am doing right here, right now, I'm doing one or two things. There is no in between. I'm doing one or two things. Either I am writing the story of Black America's resurrection, or I am writing our eulogy. There's no in between. Either I am writing the story of our resurrection or I'm writing our eulogy. Now you get to decide which one it is. That's not me. I can be here. I can lead this charge. I'm here with you the whole time. We're going to do it. We family. I'm here as far as we can go. But I can't make nobody go nowhere. I can't make y'all kick this Negro out. I can't make you excommunicate nobody. I can't do that. I can't do that. So this is where we are. You tell me. You're going to be the ones, and the people around you and the people around me are going to be the ones who decide which story I'm telling right here. Either this is going to be the story people look up and say, well, that's what happened to the American Negro. Yep, they gone now. Yep, they got replaced, whatever. Or they're going to be like, well, this is when they came back alive. And this is when they really fought and got some stuff. It can't, that's it. There are only two options. There are only two stories to be written right now. And I'm clear on that. And I'm clear on what has to go in order for those stories to be told. I'm clear on what has to be cut out. I'm clear on the cancer that has to be taken out. But if I'm the only one clear on it, it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a problem. And so, like I said, I want to hear what everybody has to say about it. I'm going to give me a few minutes. I'm going to take a few calls. We're only talking about Kanye tonight, everybody. So please don't call me about HR 35. No, we're having a very specific conversation. And I think it's a serious conversation. There's nothing to be joked about or laughed at because we put Kanye there. Kanye's there because of us. We built this man up from the ground, supported him all this time for him to go there and bootlick President Trump. That's what we did. And we should have been cut him off. But now here we are. And so I want to hear what everybody has to say. Give me a few minutes and I'll set up the phones and we'll go from there. All right, fam. We're going to go to the phones. I am going to 970. 970, what's your name? Where you calling from and what's on your mind? Hold on one second.
Hey, Yvette, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right, my name is Lawrence. I'm calling from Colorado, but originally I'm from Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
And I just got a couple of things to say. During the conversation where he was referring to, he made a slight comment on reparations. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I saw it.
And he was like, we don't have reparations, but we have brands. And I was like, what brands do black people have?
And he don't have brand. He's talking about Adidas, like he owns Adidas. He said like mine. He said mine when referring to Adidas. He's an idiot. But go on. I'm sorry.
Well, my thing that I was getting at with that is it was almost like he was trying to slip that in because the conversation started spilling a little bit out of control in that time. Granted, there was a bunch of scatterbrained thoughts, but he was kind of referring to that. He even used another reference. I mean, I've watched the video probably 2 or 3 times today, and he used another reference saying that we didn't have our lot. And so I was like, are you trying to slip that in, that reparations thing? Because this has never ever been brought up on a forum like that in the Oval Office where America is basically watching this trending video of a, scatterbrained manic black man talk about reparations and how we need to bring industry to people that have no skills in those industries or even have the money to purchase the goods from those industries.
Yeah, but he didn't. You know, the thing is, he didn't even really talk about reparations, right? It's almost as if it's kind of like somebody comes to you and they take a poop on your front porch and then when you walk outside they slap you and then they say you got a cute nose. Like they slip that in. Like it's all this disjointed babbling. And what people like to say is, well, he did mention reparations. The whole thing was a embarrassing, incoherent mess where most of his time was spent. Like, how do you even talk about right-wing stuff about how we go on welfare? Like, if we need it, how do you talk about, well, we go on welfare to get more checks? So how do you say that and then say we need reparations? These two things don't go together. You don't know that they don't go together? You don't know you just contradicted one thing by saying the other thing?
But I also think that you brought up a point. I mean, I just tuned into your show. I don't really get to catch you all the time, but when I do, I try to really focus up and pay attention. But I did notice you were mentioning when he was talking about the in regard to the industry, and I was like, in my mind, I was thinking this. He made reference to himself being a billionaire. Now, I don't know if that's an actual real thing.
No, he no billionaire. But
it seemed like a self-centered way of promoting the concept, seeing that he's trying to run factories, turn Adidas, that he more money, and you were just saying if it's not for the whole, then you're not on the team. And that's kind of what I got from that. Like, oh, so you're trying to enslave your own people in an impoverished community to build your Yeezy brand so the suburban white kid can buy it and make you more money.
Absolutely. But here's one thing I want to say to you. Don't say you don't know whether or not Kanye West is a billionaire. We know. Like, we got to stop doing it. We know that this man is not, like, he's working too hard and too crazy. Like, you, not only that, like, there's nothing Kanye West has done to put him into billionaire status. We don't have to guess it. He said he was in debt. He told Charlamagne that, like, he got to go on tour because he be needing the money. Like, you saw somebody, there was an interview online where somebody talked about how their boyfriend worked for Kanye West and was getting like $250 a week as his personal assistant. Kanye ain't got no real money. He don't got no real, but he honestly thinks that he can project this stuff. Remember what we always talk about, these Negroes who believe in magic. He believes that he can project this stuff, and I'm going to builder. He said he was gonna have Trump fly on an airplane instead of Air Force One. Like, this is the kind of, like, this do for self stuff results in Kanye kind of crazy, because you really believe you can do it yourself, and you end up having these manic kind of episodes and stuff. And it's not just because you certifiable or because you bipolar. It's because you believe in something that's not real. You believe in magic, so you start saying very magical things.
Yes, ma'am. I do want to bring up this last point, because I know
Sure.
you have other callers, and I don't want to take the point.
Go ahead.
But he was talking about. Damn, I just lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, he was talking about when he was speaking for black people as a whole. I thought that was very problematic because, not that these are my own thoughts, because I have my own thoughts and opinions, but I remember I was watching a D.L. Hughley segment when he had his radio show, and he was like, if you make a white supremacist say, see, there you go, see, there you go, then, you know, you're not on the team. He didn't use those words, but he used some choice words. But I felt like by him speaking on that, like, black people have a way of relying on racism. Everything is racism. Everything is racism. I did notice that Kanye West he didn't answer the stop and frisk question. He didn't answer the question directly about Donald Trump being referred to.
Oh, you know what he did say? He did say, no, he said, well, I talked to somebody, and they said stop and frisk is a problem. But I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Trump. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That's what he said. And then he said racism don't stop him. Racism's an invisible wall. Understand how damaging it is for somebody to say racism is an invisible wall. It's everything.
It's co-signing white supremacy. Is what it's doing. It's co-signing and validating it, and it's giving power to those who operate in those systems of oppression.
Yep. You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Hey, I don't want to take up all your time. I'm ready to listen to some more callers and hear more about what you got to say.
Appreciate it, Carl.
I appreciate what you're doing. I try to follow you, Tone Talks. I do notice that, you know, as far as like a Charlemagne or somebody like that, they never bring you up. They never talk about any of the concepts that you bring up. They never talk about any of the things that Tone Talks bring up. It's almost as if your platforms don't even exist. They'll bring up somebody else who's talking about some shucking and jiving or the latest hot record or some other bullshit, but they won't ever bring up no real actual statistics of what's really going on out here. So I greatly appreciate that.
I appreciate you calling in, fam.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but it don't matter whether it don't matter whether they bring me up or not. It don't matter whether they bring me up or not, because it's coming. It's coming. It don't matter. This whole thing is coming. It don't matter whether you bring me up a lot. It don't matter, you know, whether you. It don't matter. You know, I remember. I think. I remember when Antonio actually ripped up Charlemagne's book, that little garbage book he put out, Black Privilege. I don't think he's gonna come too hard after that. You know, he knows about Antonio. He tweeted. He knows, but that's why you won't come. And he said something on the show, was like, one time it was like, well, on his little podcast with the little weird white guy. It's all so strange. And it's just like, he was just like, well, you know, somebody on YouTube said, and it was something verbatim of what I said. So we all know who you be talking about. We all know, ain't no secrets about who you be talking about and who you be referring to. Ain't no secrets about who you be talking. You just don't want to say my name or say Antonio's name, but that's fine. It don't matter. The conversation is changing whether you say it or not. Like, it's not me. The Breaking Brown family's out here talking with charts and data, and you just out here looking stupid. See, before nobody knew you were stupid, but now we out here, everybody out here with all the stuff that matters. So now we know. And understand something. So he said, Kanye West talking about speaking for black people. Understand one thing. Kanye West, I want you to look at that interview. I mean, look at that rant, that babbling, very 7-year-oldish stuff. And like, listen, Kanye West don't even have the same voice. Like, this is a man who actively decided to change the way he talks. He used to talk regular, like, George Bush don't like black people. Now he's like, what I want to do is like, I think I can bring in like this new mechanism. You changed your whole self. How do you even look at yourself? You changed the way you sound. That had to be intentional. Nobody gets grown and just starts sounding different. That's what you did. You're not a man. You're a child. And a very slow child. And we've let you go too far. I'm going to 909. 909. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette. This is Anthony from San Bernardino. Nice to talk to you again.
What's going on, Ed?
Man, I was just I was loving this because it was interesting how it kind of goes to the conversation Tone Talks was having on his show as far as what type of personality are you? Are you a radicalism, and how radicalism is kind of cut away, and how if we don't really try to school or we try to educate the radical students in order for them to be shown in a light to where they can say, hey, look, these things are what's going on in America as a black DOS. These are the, from an educated standpoint, somebody could speak a lot better than I can. They never invite who?
They never invite who?
Problem. I'm sorry?
You said they never invite who?
They never invite a radical, politically, I guess, read person. Someone who actually reads the facts. Somebody who knows the information that needs to be said. They never have anyone. They always put our singers, our entertainers, our dancers, everybody that can do a good pop lock or something like that. They have a lot of those people to say something. But anybody who, I'm talking about someone who goes to school, who actually read some books like yourself, somebody who's undergirded in actual knowledge and debate, someone who's been around the block when it comes to actually knowing what subjects and what topics is directly affecting DOS. No, we have Kanye West.
To your point, Carla, to your point, let me just bring up an image real quick. This is the image I'm bringing up. I don't know if you can see your laptop, but this is MLK at the White House with LBJ. This is regardless of whatever criticism you have of MLK, this is a black leader doing business on behalf of black people. I want you to right now, everybody, I want you to look at this and I want you to compare that to what we saw today. And the caricature that we are being made into by having not cut this Kanye Negro off at the knees a long time ago. But I don't want it. But go ahead, Carl. I want to let you finish.
No. I know. Illustrate the points as far so everybody can understand what's going on here. But to have somebody come in blackface or dress up as a clown or do all these crazy antics in order for them to be seen by the dominant society, to say, hey, look here, I'm still here, instead of talking about what's going on with DOS, what's going on with us as a people. It's something. I wish I can kind of get my anger up a little bit more, because you sound extremely passionate about it. And I just need to get to a point where I can say, you know what, we need to be a lot more insulted.
Yeah, I am.
By the powers that be that comes in and says, why do you keep putting this effing clown on TV and showing his I guess his Floyd Mayweather skills of reading out on display, as far as telling everybody what it is and how it's going down, as far as redlining, Jim Crow, and all the other stuff, and mass incarceration and the wealth gap. How can he get out this information to all the people that he are speaking to in power? And how can we get a voice out? I can't even get a straight sentence out without so much emotion going behind it. I don't even know if I don't know if I have the training or the dialect to even go there.
I hear you, Carl.
I guess.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think the first, and I appreciate you calling in, and I'll answer you after the call. I think the first thing that has to happen though is the standards thing. Like let me just bring this image up again. Like, he says what he can't do. Well, you can't do it because you're operating as an individual, and we don't have any kind of We don't have any kind of we don't have a social contract as a group. Understand that this is MLK in the Oval Office, right? And the importance of being in that room. And that room, Kanye was in there. That room is in those conversations. That's what led to the Voting Rights Act. That's what led to the Civil Rights Act. That's what led to that. That's what you're supposed to do when you get in that room, you clown. You're supposed to get in that room and seriously advocate. You don't know. You shouldn't be. And we don't know. Forget Kanye for a minute. We don't know enough to know that we should have cut him off. But he can't be in that room. Everything in your life, black people, can be made easier based on what happens in that room. And instead of having somebody with some knowledge who can, and people say, well, Trump ain't bright either. Yeah, but his daddy left him $400 million. That ain't the point. Everything in your life can be made easier by whether or not you're able to get some kind of, to extract some kind of bargain for your people in that room. It is a serious moment. It is as serious as a heart attack when you get in that room and you advocate for who you advocate for. And we don't understand what was wasted. That's what we don't understand. We don't understand what was wasted by instead of having that room, this is the room that you had. This was the room. Understand that. Do you see the contrast? Do you see that? I don't know Kanye West, but who could have? Do you understand that everybody should have dragged him before he should have even made his way to the White House? You're not going in that room. I don't care. Given what that room means to us, and given what can happen in that room with the right person, and given the fact that I know you're the absolute wrong person, you don't get to go in that room. No, absolutely not. You don't get to do that. You don't get to embarrass people and embarrass your people and your family and your children because you're a narcissistic clown. You don't get to do that. But it's the group's responsibility to make sure you don't do that. It's not an individual thing. It is the responsibility of the group to ensure that you don't get to go to that room. Understand that the press was there. One of the first things I saw was, I think, Jonathan Carl. And then I saw a clip from CNN. The press is all around you, listening to you. Because we have elevated you and made you into some kind of star. So we know you're not about, this is not a deal making session. This is a clown session. Trump set you up to be a photo op so he could have a court gesture moment and laugh at the little Negro fool in the room. That was the whole point. It wasn't like with LBJ, MLK, one picture. There's a photographer. There's the White House photographer. He's gonna take a picture for the archives and move on. No, you were there. You were there as like a little silly ornament. That's what you were there for. So I'm going to the next call. I am going to 313. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Thank you for this opportunity, Yvette, right now.
Appreciate it.
I feel honored to actually have this conversation with you, or at least to give my comment on the situation with Kanye West.
Thank you.
Our lost brother.
We got a lot of lost brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we do. But my suggestion is, because we do have to fight fire with fire, and I think we should put together a propaganda campaign against Kanye West, and we call it The Day Kanye West Lost His Black Card, and we show a bunch of images of him with Donald Trump, and just basically letting him know, and Black America, that we're not dealing with you like that. And that's all I really wanted to say. Thank you for your time, and hello, Breaking Brown family.
Appreciate it, fam. Appreciate it. Listen, this is what I want to see. I want to see this. See, what happens all the time, and I hear what the caller said, but what happens all the time is this. What happens all the time is this, and it happens with everybody. Everybody used to love Kanye. Everybody used to love Trump. Serena was with Trump. Al Sharpton was with Trump. All this stuff, and we forgive everybody. So it's not just about Kanye and Trump. It's about us. But we have to get to a point, if we want to do this right, where like when you come back into the fold after you done did all this stuff, we're not forgiving you. You don't get to, like Kanye did all that stuff and then he had a listening party and everybody showed up. And we need to say, no, if you show up to a listening party, if you do a song with him, if I see you at his house, if I see you photograph with him, I'm not buying anything. I'm not doing anything. There will be no project. If you are a star, you have to, if you do something with Kanye, there will be no projects with you. I will not collaborate with you. I will not take the calls of your agent. I'm not going to let bygones be bygones. And for us, I'm not buying nothing. I'm not going on iTunes. I'm not going to be like, yeah, but that's politics. But in music, he's a political genius. You got to cut all that stuff off. What are you purchasing a Kanye album for? And of course, Trump loves Kanye because rappers love Trump. And Diddy got a picture with Trump, and everybody was talking about Trump in their music. We have a problem. We have a big problem that's much bigger than that. It's much bigger than Donald Trump. It's much bigger than any individual. You have to understand that we, as a community, see the problem is every time there's a problem, we love to make it. Well, this is a problem of just, Kanye acting up. Well, this is just this is just a problem of XYZ. No, this is a community problem. This is not one person's problem. This is a community problem. And at a certain point, what we have to do, we have to begin to understand and address the community's ails. Not just Kanye's. We talk about systemic all the time. Let's put these up real quick for you. Hold on one second. Even people. Serena's an amazing athlete. I've talked about that. And coming of age in tennis. But am I supposed to believe that you didn't know who Trump was? Am I supposed to believe that Diddy didn't know who Trump was? Am I supposed to believe that? All these people are problematic. In the sense of, why are you with this man? Why are you elevate? We have to be very conscious, people, of who we elevate. And what we do and how we do it. Who we elevate, going forward, who we elevate and who we diminish is going to be very important. I'm going to the next call. I'm going to 484. I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind? Hello? 484?
Oh yes. I'm Gail from Philly.
Cut down your background. Cut down your laptop.
Hello?
Cut down your background.
Oh, turn on the background. Sorry.
Okay?
Sorry.
No problem. What's on your mind?
Here you go. Okay. I'm Gail from Philly.
Okay.
And I've called before. Okay. And it's ridiculous. I've been telling people about this stuff with Kanye. Oh, he just makes music. Awesomely lovely. Oh, this is just entertainment. Like, no. These people get these platforms, they go before our leaders, and then they do something crazy. And it can't be taken back. It can't be swept under the rug. It can't just go away.
Yeah.
They don't call people like you or Tone or Sandy Darity. That's somebody that they should take with them if you're going to go to something like that, because you don't know what you're doing. Since you don't know what you're doing, you got the platform. Bring in one of our leaders, one of our lobbyists, one of our community representatives that know what they're doing. But they don't do that. They go out there and they do some 30 years back. It's crazy. And you know, people, black people, oh, it's just music. Oh, I like it. Oh, I want it. They're not. You know, they won't listen.
I'm getting feedback. Is your computer back on?
Oh, I like it. Oh, I want it. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Did they get rid of the feedback? Okay. You know, so it's like, you know, my own relatives, my sisters and stuff are like this, and just the broader society at large. If you, like you were saying, people need to get off these entertainment websites and just following these celebrities. You need to worry about what's going on in your community and your neighborhood, what's going on with our children, just everything. We don't need to be looking at Will Smith blogging and keeping up with the Kardashians. Stop the foolishness. Enough is enough already. It's about to be game over for real. It's about to be game over for real. And these people, I don't know, they lollygagging like the people used to say, and playing games and shucking and jiving like my principal used to say back in high school. Everything but the right thing they're doing. Everything but the right thing. And it's about to be over for real. This stuff about Kanye, I don't think they have an idea how bad it is, people. They going to see, though. They going to learn.
I agree, Paula. I agree.
Take all your time.
No problem. I agree.
I know everybody's upset like me.
All right. Thank you, Carla. Listen, somebody in the chat said something like, well, have knowledgeable leaders reach out to Kanye. Since when do leaders and politicians and all these people reach out to like rappers? I'm not even trying to diminish rap, but let me just break this down for you. Celebrities in general shouldn't be reached out to. You shouldn't be talking on this. It's not the job of people who do serious work to reach out to Kanye. Kanye shouldn't be at this place to where he's having a conversation. He shouldn't be here. There's no reason for him to be here having this conversation. Nobody need to reach out to this craziest cat shit man. For what? No, you're supposed to just cut him off at the knees. Stop this thing where y'all are playing. The problem is y'all play games. Everybody want to play. Everybody want to, well, just talk to him. That don't work. Cut him off. Cut him off. That's how power works. Power doesn't work with like kick gloves. We're going to talk to Kanye and we're going to reach out to him and we're going to have a conversation with him and maybe we're going to convince him. I shouldn't have to convince Kanye of nothing. I should never have to have a conversation with nobody that's stupid. Nobody should. Kanye should know his place. And the fact that he don't know his place is our fault. It is our fault that he doesn't know, that he doesn't get to go and do this. That is our fault. It's not just his fault. It's bigger than that. A serious person should not have to reach out to Kanye and try to teach something. You know how hard it is to teach something to somebody who ain't never read a book? You know how hard that is? Most kids read their first book in elementary. You know how hard it is to reach out to somebody who don't really read and is proud of not only don't read, but is proud of not reading. You know how hard that is? And he doesn't represent anybody. Nobody ever elected Kanye to nothing political. Kanye's supposed to be somewhere right now making a beat. That's his role in life. Should reach out to him. Reach out to him for what? He wasn't brought in that room to do politics. He was brought in that room to do what he did. He was brought in that room to be a spectacle and to hop around and say crazy stuff. It's all kind of people on Wall Street and people in penthouses that's gonna play that Kanye video tonight over champagne and laugh. You don't come in like that. See, the thing is, we never had power, so we don't understand power. You don't come in like Kanye begging. That's what Kanye did. He came in begging. He might as well have taken off Donald Trump's shoe and kissed his big toe. He came in begging. You don't come in like that. Like, if you give me and Antonio a shot, we don't come in like that. People, we just need enough black people as our win to where you gotta let me come in. If you don't let me come in, it's gonna be a problem. That's how King came in. He had a bunch of black people backing him, and then there were riots in the street and stuff. And King was like, "I'm the leader, though. You gotta give me some stuff, and I can do all kind. This I talk to these people. These is my people. You can't come in there just clowning, talking about Adidas. You just jokes for white people." That's all you are. since somebody has anybody reached out to Kanye like it's somebody's responsibility to reach out to this crazy person, this little moron, like it's some kind of activist or academic or union organizer or somebody that's their responsibility to reach out to Kanye. 216, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Yvette? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? My name Chris, calling from the 216, a big fan of the Breaking Brown family.
Thank you.
Just wanted to highlight your point about Kanye West. Through the wire, right? Through the wire. Like, Kanye, he is just somebody that's a brand ambassador. I'll call him a brand ambassador, you know what I mean? He's the black man that got it going on, and he's there to push the agenda like so many other athletes, entertainers, you know what I mean? Like, and that's how they do it. They just want to push their agenda through our brand ambassadors, people that we, like you said, hey, give them the green light. Hey, we support them. We, you know what I mean? We fuck with them until they come out and say some dumb shit like that. So.
All right. No, I agree. I agree with you, fam. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. I'm trying to get through the calls. I appreciate you. 860, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, this is Gabe. I'm calling from Connecticut. You are so right. This is not a joke. I did not laugh one bit. I think we are being confronted with the afterlife of slavery through examples of this kind of minstrelsy and coonery. You use the term caricature, but you're absolutely right. Kanye is a problem. I mean, in the same way that Trump is a problem. You know, being a Democrat is not enough, but I do acknowledge that we would probably have to use the party to eventually reform the party as a whole, but that's going to take time and really getting the right people into leadership and finding the right loyalty is a big, that's also a part of this message. We have put the dollar over our own selves. I think Kanye, in the grand scheme of things, Kanye doesn't matter. I mean, he is a caricature, like you said. But what he's telling me is that, so there are some things that he symbolizes. Kanye lacks education. He lacks manhood. He lacks culture. You know, as an African American, that shows me that what we are producing as people, what we are reproducing through what we are willing to accept as social behavior. The example I like to give is that I think that now that the whip is no longer hitting us on our back, I think we have internalized the whip, and that is why we produce these people. You know, he was born from a black woman just like many of us, but somehow this trauma that we carry that we don't really talk about, we don't, and somebody said it, a caller earlier said it, that he didn't want to pick up, or anytime he wants to talk about this, there's too much emotion behind it. Yeah. And I've really had to be intentional about working on talking about the traumas of the realities of slavery without getting emotionally charged about it. And that's something that we really have to start using our spaces, like even barbershops, salons, our living rooms, whatever, using our spaces to actually sit down and contemplate what our blackness means to us and what we're actually willing to do with the black dollar. And if we are willing to remain loyal to that, building a culture around it, we can then begin to create a unified consciousness. But I don't think.
Here's the thing, caller. Like here, hold on 1 second for me. Like here's the problem. Like I hear people say that in the comments today. People say like Kanye doesn't matter. Like anybody who's sitting in the Oval Office matters, and like what you do from that seat matters, and how you represent and how you advocate. Even though that I know he wasn't brought in there to do anything, even if Kanye had got in there, if somebody who had been in there had been about their business, We need to do X because of X, Y because of Y. Boom, 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 boom. That would have made news and it would have made the rounds and it would have been a conversation. So him being there, I think we can't say that it doesn't matter.
I agree. Okay, so let me just re-articulate that. I think what is really important to draw from Kanye as an example, as a person, like at this point, he has betrayed himself. He has betrayed his community. He has betrayed his identity. If there was anything to betray, he's betrayed it. But the thing that gets me is that we have to take responsibility for the fact that we put him there. And he didn't have anything. He didn't have a sheet of paper. No, where were those demands for the prison protests? Where were, some reform or refresh list of demands from the Black Panther Party? He didn't have anything. But the point is that he had that access. Just like Obama, we put Obama into the office, and Obama didn't do shit for us, but just used us. We were happy about it. We had a black president for a day, for one day. And that was it. I still watch stuff about St. Louis and the documentaries, and I'm just like, where were you and where are you now? Because as black people, we are in a crisis in America. That is what Kanye is telling me. Just the name itself, put the person aside. What he has achieved is ringing the alarm that we are in a crisis. We are still in the afterlife of an issue that we have not faced because we are still afraid to rise and to actually show what it is that is so complex, so abstract that I can't even really, the fact that I even have to put it into words is frustrating enough. And the fact that I have to deal with it on a daily basis in the most mundane ways is enough. So when are we going to get to a point where we actually say, enough? I do recognize that history has taught us that there are a lot of consequences, but at the same time, I don't necessarily plan on putting forth generations of children, as a black woman, that are going to deal with this suffrage. I'm just not. And that's why I haven't had a child yet. Because I am not satisfied. I am infuriated, and what blows my mind is the fact that we are so complacent, not just with our consciousness, but with our dollars. And that is why Kanye ended up in that seat, and he blew it. And he needs to be completely canceled, just like that mentality needs to be canceled. No more of this buying brands, whatever, just to appeal to a certain status. You are a fool. At this point in time, it is about life or death. And if you are not choosing the side of life, then you can join Kanye.
All right, thank you, caller. I appreciate you, caller. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. But yeah, I think this is like I think we're at a flashpoint. I agree with the caller on that. Like, you can no longer say, well, I don't like what Kanye did, but I'm gonna buy this album. I don't like what Kanye did, but I'm gonna buy this Pusha T. Right? I don't like, and you have to ask yourself, is these people, black celebrities from P. Diddy, and when Serena, Al Sharpton, all these people, like when they're taking pictures with Trump, and when they're doing what they're doing and stuff that, like, you gotta understand, Diddy and Sharpton were in New York, these are people who were raised up in that era. They knew. Like, you knew. So you were bastardizing us. You talk a good game and all this stuff, bastardizing kind of blackness. That's what you were doing. You are all responsible. This is not a Kanye thing. You are all complicit. You all normalized Trump, and you knew Trump. You knew Trump. Al Sharpton did business with Trump. You knew this man, and you still was with him. Al Sharpton, the one who likes to go have drinks at the smoke lounge with the Wall Street people. You've been playing this game for a long time, where you just you get out and protest and holler and stuff, but then you get back in with the people who are oppressing black people. There are a lot of people complicit in this. This is, if you make this about Kanye, you're missing it. It's about Kanye, but it's also about the group that Kanye represents and all of these people. I'm going to 240. I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
How you doing, Yvette? This is Roz in the
Hey,
DMV. It's only right that you did this show because, sister,
What's going on?
I saw this earlier and I nearly lost my mind. I really did. So thank you for having the
No
show
problem.
tonight.
Had to.
I just wanted to say that I had a new rule for us.
Okay.
We American DOS need to stop the celebrity worship. I mean, I get into the largest fights, I guess, on social media about people like Kanye and in this instance and what he done, and people are always talking about, well, he lost his mom, and that's a huge event in someone's life. However, if we can go back some, his mom passed in November of 2007. That was 11 years ago next month. And in that amount of time, he has had something that many of us that do not have access to, which is psychologists and psychotherapists to work through his depression and things of that nature. So we got to stop. We got to stop propping these people up. Well, I'm not going to say we're doing it. I'm not going to say that necessarily we're doing it. I think what we're suffering from as a people is we're suffering from what I call the emperor's new clothes syndrome. And you were on tonight, and I appreciate you saying what I've been saying to so many people because I've been in the entertainment business since the 80s. Okay? People don't realize that celebrities put their pants on. I'm keeping the show rated PG-13. They put their pants on the same way everybody else does, one leg at a time. They're people. And people are sitting there, when you have a mega machine, tens of millions of dollars, it won't have a void and a vacuum. They're going to say, okay, well, this person is not accepted, so we're going to put all this tens of millions of dollars behind the next person. So whoever they say, and black people, we're like, oh, well, they got money, and it's not validating who they are.
Yeah, like that means you're a good person or you have some type of inside knowledge. No, that really means you got picked by white capital. But you're right. Like the way I mean, you're right in the sense of what you just said, right? In terms of how we esteem these people. It's not based on anything. Not anything that's valuable. We don't have a metric. We're just happy to see somebody, oh, he got money. Oh, he lost it. But let me just say something. Let me just say one other thing before I let you finish your thought. Unless you die early and you die an unfortunate early death, you gonna lose your mama and your daddy too. Like I don't know how we got caught up in this thing where we afford Kanye West something that we wouldn't afford ourselves. You got to keep living this life. You got to move through shit. I mean, that's just what, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's what has to happen. Nobody's saying 11 years you got, well, and I think we probably did lose him then, but it's his fault. Like, he didn't do the work, but he was never a smart person. Like, even if he had done the work, he was a person that never could have led us in a political direction. He just could have been better in terms of his music and stuff like that. But he's never been a smart person. He's not a political person. And one of the things that listen, it's one thing if we feel like our politicians are not advocating for us. We should hold them accountable, and we should hold our activists accountable, and we should hold our organizers accountable, and we should hold our academics accountable too in terms of what the product they put out and how we're able to weaponize it. But this is not a person who should ever have been speaking. These celebrities don't get to speak in terms of politics. Like I said, Belafonte still even though he was an advocate, he followed King's lead. He didn't get out here and just start talking wild. I'll let you finish, Roz. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What you're talking about here is a cult of personality that is so strong in 2018, where I saw another show earlier where they had an adjunct professor at Georgetown University. I'm not going to mention his name because it was ridiculous. But he's on here saying, oh, we were in the room. We were in the room through Kanye. everything
No,
that
we
he was
weren't.
talking about, he would go back to his great grandmother or whatever that's 90s saying, baby, just be in the room. Now, here we are in 2018. You have an adjunct professor that I need to ask him who you, because I mean, make sure that he's from here, that he's one of us, American DOS, but he's happy to just be in the room. What we need to do is we need to analyze everything that people are saying. So we need to ask who you, and we need to ask what you talking about.
Yep.
Because we need to put it down on paper, because everything that Kanye meant, he might have said reparations, he could have said bowling. I don't even know what he was saying.
Child,
Cheetos,
Cheetos, Jello Pops, Bahamas, Hawaiian shorts, child.
Expanded on it. He didn't ask for anything. Jim Brown sat there and said, well, I came here, I don't want nothing. Well, what are you there for?
Say that one more time. If you hear and you don't want nothing, what are you there for? Say that one more time.
He's in there, well, I don't want anything. I didn't come here to ask for anything. What are you in front of the President of the United States for if you're not asking for tangibles for our community?
And understand, and what a community that needs as much as we need. What a community that needs what we need.
Is a policy in Trump's plan to go against mental health. It's a policy in his plan to go against, and he mentioned the word reparations. He didn't expand on it. It's a policy to go against it. It's a policy to go against everything that this man, and then he went over and hugged him. Oh, gave him a hug. Like, hugs and free hugs and whatever are not going to resolve our problems. People need to stop laughing. People need to get on these, he called it celebrity. You need to start writing things down. Is this making me feel good, or is it making me think? You need to write it down on paper. What tangibles are they bringing to the table? That's all I need to say.
Thank you, fam. Thank you. You said a mouthful. You said a mouthful this evening. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with Rob. Yeah. Like, not only why are you in the room if you're not asking for anything, but you're in a room representing a group who is owed everything. You're in a room representing a group that is owed everything, and you're not asking for anything. I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about the repercussions of that. The scattered, frenzied ignorance, the incomprehensible nonsense that we saw from Kanye West versus the poised, Martin Luther King and the agenda that he came in there with. And what LBJ came out with. And LBJ was a racist. Think about that. Think about what you just saw today. And think about what we missed out on because we had to watch this silly spectacle. 973, I'm coming to you. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Yvette? This is Carla up out of New Jersey.
What's going on?
I just seen social media clips. I really couldn't bear to watch the whole thing, but to speak to what the female caller said about, she kind of put the blame on slavery. You know what? We can't even blame slavery for what we seen in the White House, because right after slavery, we produced Frederick Douglasses, we produced Sojourner Truth, we produced generations later. If you want to talk about celebrities that can't speak for us, we produced Paul Robeson. So that right there is not a reflection of slavery. That right there is the result of an ongoing war that was waged against us, a silent war, right after the Civil Rights Act was signed into law. This is benign neglect. This is funneling children into special education. This is defunding urban centers. This is white flight. This is all that. This is basically, starving us to the point where we're so desperate for wealth. We're so desperate for wealth that we began to idolize, drug dealers in the neighborhoods when we didn't have doctors and lawyers that we watched when we grew up. So it's a result of all of that, you know. And Kanye West is the problem. And just like you said, we got to just sit back and just take mental notes of who explains this away. So Monday, if Charlemagne is on the Breakfast Club explaining and joking this away, we got to cancel him too.
That's
we
true.
Gotta cancel him too.
That's
we
true.
got to cancel anybody who comes and tries to rationalize and to explain that behavior. Now, Kanye West is a problem, but he is not the problem. Everybody that was in that meeting was the problem. The media who sat there and listened to that battle. You know, the president who even gave him an invitation to come and talk about nothing. So, be clear, we might be witnessing the destruction of Black America, but we also might be witnessing the destruction of America as a whole. Because that was circus in there.
That's true. It was.
And you can't just put that on Black people. This is also an indictment on American society and culture right now.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
It's sickness. And right now, I mean, you know, we play too much as a people. I'm talking about Black people. You know, we want to drink, we want to party. And listen, don't get it wrong. I work hard. I go out. You know, I have my fair share of good times, but I've spent a lot of time reading and learning. You know, but what society teaches us that it means nothing. As long as somebody can come behind me with a shiny car and some shiny shoes, he's better than me, or he's somebody worthy to sit down and listen to.
Yep.
So, I mean, me personally, I'm not calling here with any solution. I mean, I'm to the point where, like, I don't know. I'm still learning. I think that everybody is their own solution. And I mean, you guys are putting out solutions. I mean, I don't even know. I'm gonna vote this coming November, but I'm not, you know, I mean, it's really not a big deal to me anymore. It's really not. I mean, we need to cancel all these people. The Democratic Party, these celebrities, everybody. I mean, if we can't get to the point where we're able to isolate ourselves and really dig down deep and get our shit together, we're going to go down with the ship. And the ship is going down. It ain't just Black people who's going down. The whole ship is sinking.
All right, caller. I agree with most of you said. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the call. The one thing I say in terms of what the caller said in terms of solutions, I think how you build yourself and how you build your life and how you direct your attention is part of the solution. Where you direct your attention is part of the solution. If you are paying attention to these people and making them into stars and paying attention to this reality TV and the real hip hop, whatever the heck, or whatever, this is how you are directing your attention and you are elevating ignorance. Your attention matters. And how you direct your attention matters. Everybody's looking for these big old solutions, but the real solution is an accumulation of small choices. Your real solution is an accumulation of small choices. How you think, where your attention goes, what you read, how you select politicians. Do you follow your politicians on Twitter? Do you advocate? Do you tweet? Do you know how to advocate specifically for your group? These are an accumulation of small choices. There is no one size, one map. That's not what we're doing. And you have to understand that. You have to understand how important your intention is. You have to understand how important your ideals are. You have to understand how important it is what you value. So if you, like he said, if you value somebody with shiny shoes and who got money versus somebody who might not but has more knowledge and is more community based, then you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem. Well, you see them shoes, he got some money. Or you see that? Yeah, she got that bag. No. That's not what we need. And all this other stuff we don't need. So I'm going right now to 512. 512, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
How you doing, Miss Yvette?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take up much of your time. Real quickly, why does this whole Kanye reminds me of the movie Get Out. I don't know. It's just something strange. I mean, I don't mean to make your show a conspiracy platform on what I'm about to say, but you can go back to 2005 when Kanye West was on Sunday Night Live, when he made the comment about, George Bush doesn't like black people during Katrina. And you take it all the way to 2018. Here we are in the middle of a major hurricane, and Kanye West is with the president making a fool of himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just amazing.
Nobody knows.
I want to say,
I appreciate it. Thank you, caller. I appreciate you calling in. I don't think any of us, we know what we know. And when I don't need a boycott. Somebody said, what's the cancel plan? I don't need a boycott to do that. I just know, like anybody, you have to know, like in your internal self. I'm not supporting Kanye. I'm not supporting anybody that works with Kanye. And I'm not following this celebrity news anymore. I'm done. These celebrities are vacuous, they crazy, and they're just out trying to scratch each other up for a little bit of money. I'm finished. And you have to make those individual choices. And if somebody says, oh, dude, did you hear that newest Kanye? No, I don't listen to Kanye. And you got to say it and mean it. I don't listen to him. I don't do that no more. Well, man, it was good. Don't tell me about it. You need to tell me. I told you that I don't listen to it, and I told you why I don't listen to it. Don't disrespect me by trying to talk to me about how a beat or whatever is more important than DOS America right now. I'm not interested, and you have to stand your ground. But more people have to do that, and that's where we are. And it's not a good place to be in. But it's about the choices that we make. I already made mine. 615, I'm coming to you. 615, which name, where you calling from? What's on your mind?
615, is that me?
Yes, that's you. That's you?
Hey, how you doing, Yvette?
Pretty good. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I just want to say that I really do appreciate what you're contributing to this, forum.
Thank you.
I contribute to you, through the newsletter.
Thank you.
About all I can do. Yeah, that little $2, whatever it is a month, coming out of my account that doesn't have much in it.
$2 is $2.
Happy to do it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just coming from a different perspective. Not different. I'm not even saying it's different. I just want to bring something up.
Okay.
Kanye, I remember when he did that thing with Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
And it was real to me when he did it. And I felt like he didn't get the support from the black community that I felt like he should have gotten when he stood up and said, hey, this woman shouldn't have gotten all this recognition over Beyonce, right? And I was really down with all that. And I, even Beyonce came out and said, oh, he shouldn't have done that, all that kind of stuff. I feel like all this is just welcome to this insanity because, what do you expect? Even if to me back then, I thought he was really standing up for what was black, and he didn't get the support. So what do you really expect to happen? He's about to go crazy. And he did go crazy. He has gone crazy. It's not just about his mother. That's not the only thing that made him go crazy. He didn't get support about that whole issue, and then he decided to go white with, what's her name, what is that Kardashian woman? All that crazy stuff. And then all this stuff, gets to your head. So he has really gone crazy. He is bipolar. So we're dealing with someone who's bipolar.
I don't care.
Right?
And
we're attacking a bipolar person.
I don't care.
I'm not trying to defend him, so let me get to what I'm saying.
Okay.
We're attacking a bipolar person who is really being used by the Trump administration, who's just kind of just putting somebody out there just for their own uses, just like they're putting Jim Brown, who's a white beater, and a, misogynist, whatever he is, you know what I'm saying? And they're just using that for whatever they want to use it for.
Yes.
And then we're getting all upset because they're putting two ignorant people up there to speak for us.
Here's the thing, Carl. Let me just address the first part first.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't owe Kanye West anything. Now, see, here's the thing. No, let me just finish. Kanye West. See, the first thing we have to decide what's important. An award show is not important at all. It's useless, not important. Kanye West, because Taylor Swift won an award that he thought in his infinite wisdom should have gone to Beyonce, he decided to get up and disrupt an award show. I don't even know how to frame it, because with everything that's going on in the black community, the award shows have always been useless, and they're just ways to sell records anyway, and they're just ways to infuse capital into white people. That's just the people, the labels. That's all they're really for. So I don't care who wins.
I agree.
And so if he decides to jump
I
his,
agree with.
if he,
I agree.
I'm gonna let. No. I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not saying that you're arguing. I just want to make it clear. I'm not saying that you're arguing with my point. I'm just trying to make my point clear to everybody that this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. None of this matters. So I would never have had Kanye's back in terms of the Taylor Swift thing. It was so far in my periphery, I didn't really realize what happened until later. Because no, and in terms of him being bipolar, that's his problem and that's his family's problem. Y'all shouldn't let him leave the house or whatever y'all got to do. I don't know. He's not my husband. He's not my brother. He's not my cousin. I don't work with him. That's your responsibility to tackle him, do what you got to do, kick him in the back. That's your responsibility to keep this person at home if he's having an episode. But let's be clear that bipolar people can be functional people. If you all let him leave the house and he didn't take his medicine and he's manic or whatever, that's still your problem. Like, none of that has anything to do with me. And I think part of the problem is that so many of us have watched so many award shows that we think that stuff matters. It doesn't. So I'm going to let you finish.
I think that's very valid when you're saying that it doesn't matter. I think that it's hard for us to put that in perspective because, I think to Kanye at the time, he thought he was making a statement, and even if it
that's because he's
matter,
stupid.
Those shows don't matter. Yeah, if those shows don't matter, what is relevant though at that time was that those awards disproportionately mistreat, not disproportionately. What they do is mistreat black people, right? And so they shouldn't matter, but we believe that they do matter because we watch them, right?
I don't watch them, and we shouldn't watch them. We shouldn't watch them at all.
I know you don't watch them. Hey, I really don't watch them that much either. Don't get me wrong. But those people who are in Hollywood or whoever who are kind of representing black people in Hollywood, because we do depend on them to be the, what is it that, manipulates all of us, which is the media and the Hollywood. We do depend on them to represent us to a certain degree. We can't help it. From the time we've watched Good Times and all these other things that we've watched, it does represent us. And so we try to influence that to a certain degree. So we do look at people who are there and saying, hey, look, they're not representing us or giving us what we deserve. And I'm not saying that we're there to defend Kanye and support all these people who are in Hollywood. All I'm saying is that at least he was taking a stand at that time.
No, for who? A stand for who? His friend? He was taking, let me tell you what this was. This was a rich Negro taking a stand for another rich Negro. That didn't have nothing to do with you or me. And Beyonce was fine. Beyonce ain't got no problem. Beyonce was fine. She didn't jump on the stage. That's Kanye being a narcissist, always putting himself in the center of everything, thinking he know more than he know. He's just not only is he a problem, he's just not a smart person. I don't think we realize how ignorant Kanye is.
Oh, that's good. I agree with that. That was a good feedback. I appreciate that because for me, I'm always trying to look at it as though, that, we're not represented well and we are, and I honestly, now, I appreciate your feedback, but I will say, Beyonce works really harder than Taylor Swift.
No, you know what? Can I say this? No. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. This is where we have a problem, Carl. This is where I cut it all off. The fact that you feel like you know these people to know whether or not who works harder. You know a lot of the wrong stuff. You know wrong stuff. I don't know who works harder. It don't matter who works harder. Not to me or my life or my politics. I'm not in somebody's studio and auditioning trying to figure out, well, you do this and you do that. I don't know and I'm not supposed to know. I'm not supposed to be up nowhere taking up for Beyonce. She better go find Jay-Z. I'm not with her. You know the wrong stuff about who works harder.
You can say that, but okay. All right, let's take it to our level. If I work for corporate America, okay, I work for a Fortune 500 company, okay, a pharmaceutical company. Now you could say, we don't know whether or not that's what my name is. We don't know whether or not she worked harder than the white folks that were around her. We don't know all that stuff. Well, trust me, I did, okay? And trust me, I didn't get to the places that they got. Okay, so we can kind of look at celebrity and go, oh, well, they got so much money. Well, trust me, people who were working for the city instead of working for a Fortune 500 company were looking at me going, oh, we don't, she's got it easy. I don't know what she has to go through. She don't have to. She got so much money. Boo, 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 boo. No. As black people, we deal with that on the low level and we deal with it on the high level. Okay? We really do.
You don't know what Beyonce deals with. You have no idea what Beyonce deals with. And you shouldn't be caring about you should care about what you deal with in your life. In your life, you should care about what you deal with in the discrimination or whatever you have to deal with in your life. In your life, I understand it. Why are you thinking that you know what happens in the life of a black celebrity and advocating for that person? What kind of scattered shade room madness is that?
I don't know, because I'm only assuming, and I'm not arguing with you. It's because we sound passionate, so don't believe that I'm busting with you. I'm just putting my stuff out there. I'm saying that why do we separate black celebrity from black corporate or from black?
Because they're used to destroy our politics. The Kanye is there.
That's a good point, but
huh?
Corporate used it. Hey, look, how many corporate people have been
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Minority business enterprise. We do the same thing on corporate level.
It's not the same thing. It really feels now like you're just standing for Beyonce. It really, it really feels.
No. I don't give a damn about Beyonce. No,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You just said she worked harder than Taylor Swift. You give a damn. You give a damn.
I don't like Beyonce. No. You got me wrong. So please don't think that. No. What I'm trying to say is that we all deal with things on certain levels. You deal with things on your academic level. Now, as someone who has a PhD, and what you do,
I don't have a
deal
PhD.
with discrimination and people who don't appreciate you on the academic level. Okay, we deal with it on the corporate level. You deal with it on celebrity. Celebrity has a lot of shallow people, but trust me, so does corporate. Corporate has a lot of people that don't give a damn about any other black person.
I gotta go.
Right?
I gotta go, Carla. I appreciate you calling in. It's too much. I don't even know how we got here. I'm sorry. I dropped my. I gave you time, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. But I don't understand how you go from Beyonce to we all get disrespected. We all get disrespected on a corporate level, and what's the difference between a corporate level? So I don't have a PhD, but what's the difference between how you get treated and Beyonce? Understand? I don't want to explain it. I'm gonna go to one last call, but I don't want to explain it. Just go read Antonio Moore's Decadent Veil in terms of how celebrities are used or whatever. But you, and then you say you don't care about Beyonce, but you just said I think Kanye's mad that we didn't support him, and I kind of supported him because Beyonce works harder than Taylor Swift. Like, what the hell? What are we talking about here? Do you understand how scattered that is? Carla, I'm not trying to, I'm just using you as an example. That's some scattered stuff that you see your life and that you see a reflection. You see Beyonce as a reflection of what happens to you and the kind of discrimination that you go through in your life. And not because, like, Beyonce got, it's so crazy. Like, it's not even like Beyonce got $1 million for an album and Taylor Swift got $100 million. You're talking about an award, and that was enough for you to be trying to stand with Kanye and understand where he was coming from. I mean, I don't. Who? Black people. Let me just take a step back. Okay, I'm going to my last call. This should be my last call for the night. It's 510. 510. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hi, Yvette.
Hey.
This is Michelle from California.
What's going on, Michelle?
And I first want to thank you. Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. I just first wanted to thank you for your show.
Thank you.
It is definitely much needed and much appreciated, especially considering all the bullshit we're going through right now. And the first thing that I wanted to say is Kanye is in a very vulnerable place right now. And because he is, he's being exploited. And I think we're undermining the significance of what that means for someone like him with the platform that he has. And we're doing that because we're speaking of this issue as if all of the lights are on in his head, and they're not. They're clearly not.
Okay.
And because of that, we're missing a really important dynamic here. And it's a dynamic of the hunter and the hunted. You know, hunters in the wild, they have a really heightened ability to determine who's sick and who's vulnerable within the pack. And those are the people that they pick off before they go after the rest of us. And I feel like this is what's happening. I'm sorry, hello?
I'm here.
Oh, hello?
I'm here. Hello? Caller, you still there? Oh, the call, she dropped. I listen, I don't, I don't know if that's true about who's in the pack, but that's the reason why wolves in the pack take out their own first, so you won't become a problem. That's why. That's why it's your responsibility to get him. That's why it's your responsibility, because if you don't do it, that thing, that weak link is going to be a problem. That's why in the pack sometimes you'll even see like they'll kill the old pack leader because you can't lead no more. All kinds of stuff happens in the wild. And that's our responsibility. That is our responsibility. Let me take another call since, I got one. 310. What's up?
What up?
What's up, Tom?
This is crazy last couple calls, baby. I just did a video on the same topic. We're going to be talking about American DOS tomorrow on my show. But, like, I just don't think everybody really wants to be honest that you still up here listening to the next Butter Love? You still up here dancing to Puff Daddy? I don't think we understand how many people stayed up to watch Meghan Markle get married. How many people was watching the American Music Awards instead of talking to their goddamn kids. See, we got a problem with celebrity gossip culture. The Shade Room and gossip. And that lady that called in, she had to be over 35, 40 years old. What you talking about, lady? We talking politics, you talking celebrity. Right off the gate, you can't even deal with that, but whether Kanye got an award. Now we worry about whether Kanye is emotionally attacked. Well, then stay out the Oval Office. He in the Oval Office. I don't think we understand politics. I thought we did 101. When you're in the Oval Office, I don't care what your emotional state is. In the middle of wealth classifications, black families don't have no wealth. Bottom half of black America ain't worth $1, and we worry about what one black man that decided to wear a red hat that says "Make America Great Again," a country that has slaves, is feeling like. A rich black man that married Kim Kardashian. Come on, man. I don't think we did it yet. The last two calls, I need our look. I hate to genderize this, but particularly I need our women to really understand that celebrity gossip culture is gutting black America. This is bigger than Kanye. Kanye is an expression of our own problematic ego, our problematic culture of the moment. He got in that White House on black, not on Kanye. He got there because he was supposed to speak for black people. So then when he got in the room, it's because we put him there. So now we got to knock him off the seat. But it ain't just him. It's Jay-Z. I know y'all love Beyonce, but let's see if, go look at her Twitter. Let's see if she said something about Kanye being in the White House. If y'all love her. Or if she did something. It can't just be me and Yvette. This is not a game. The Oval Office is, I don't think we understand our esteemed power. We look at Trump and we see a man. Until he's out of that office, he is an administration. He is the key to government. He is the way your mama gets her Medicaid. He is the way your brother gets out of jail. He is government. And this is what we got. A crazy man sitting in front of them that don't know much. Look, when they got that much media, look, I come back to the point earlier. That was a spectacle. Pull up the Martin Luther King picture. You see a negotiation. No media in the room. You got to understand, that's the same Oval Office. I feel like you need to sit down with your kids and explain where we're at. How this man is a problem. Why that hat is a spectacle. What happened out of the Oval Office that gave y'all voting rights and civil rights that allows you to go shop at the stores you want to shop at. If we don't get straight, man, they're going to run us over. And I'm just saying, don't lay down on that so that they can do it. That's it.
All right, Tone, I appreciate it. I appreciate you calling in. Don't lay down so they can do it. Because that's the plan, people. That's the plan. That's why Kanye is there. That's why Kanye is there. And you got all kind of stuff going on in your community. You're talking about, well, I understand. I would have, I wanted to stand up for, because I really think that Taylor Swift don't work as hard as Beyonce. We can't worry about, I'll let Tone have the last word. I want to say thank you to a couple people. Thank you to Ray and thank you to Clementine for the donations I just saw. And I appreciate it. And I thank you for them. I just don't know what to make of this. Just cut that junk off. Like it just cut all this stuff you follow, all these people, cut that junk off. Throw it away. There's a lot of other stuff you could be doing. You could be enjoying your life, enjoying your kids or whatever. All this random stuff. This celebrity worship. If you're a woman, it's the gossip blogs and the shaving web. If you're a man, you following. You can tell me who's better, Kobe or Michael Jordan or LeBron. Like, let that stuff go. And I really think if we don't let it go, we're at a place where we might not make it. So I want to thank everybody. I know this was an impromptu show. I want to thank everybody for showing up. If I didn't get to your call, I apologize. I tried to get through as many as I could. And I will see everybody again on Monday. So thank you, fam. I see you again on Monday. And I think you got to just understand that the solutions aren't big. They don't look like solutions. Nobody's going to drop a plan. This is your attention. This is your awareness. This is your choices. And this is us deciding who to cut off, who to exclude, and who to include. And we need to start, like those rules I talked about yesterday, we need to start making those rules and implementing them fast, quick, and in a hurry. Thanks, fam.